piloting the craft. But what have you seen that was like the most phenomenal experience?
Well, for me, probably the next most phenomenal experience is when I went on the Astromedical One for the first time. I asked if because we kept delivering these aliens to these different spaceships, I wanted to start being able to go on the spaceships and see them. So they agreed for me to come on. They put me in a bubble because they told me I was not be able to tolerate all the different vibrations and different aliens on the spaceship at that time. Eventually, I was able to. Now, whenever any of this happens to me, like even in the very beginning, before we even went on my first spaceship, they told me to go on a bland diet for 5 days. And bland diets, of course, is only eating rice and noodles and breads and things like that. And I didn't know why, but I went, oh, why not? I'll go. But anyway, I was so relieved that I did, because after I came back from that experience, I was sick for 2 weeks. The only thing I could eat, or only thing I could tolerate, was bread. And that kept happening to me every time I would go up on the spaceship, and it got better and better and better. So when I was going on this larger spaceship, the Astromedical One, they were protecting me because of, my reaction might be worse or whatever. I don't know, but I didn't have as much of a reaction when they put me in the bubble and let me go. I wish they'd put me in the bubble when I went on that first spaceship, so I wouldn't have been so sick afterwards. But anyway, that's hindsight. But anyway, so I would say that going on there and realizing, this was my biggest realization, was because it looks so much like the movies, that for me, I have always been a Star Trek, Star Wars. I have always been a sci-fi fan. And when I went on that spaceship and saw how similar this was to that, I realized, thinking all these people were so creative, realizing that they all were channeling the information. They were all getting this information. They weren't that creative. They all had it and just were putting it out there. And that probably busted my bubble doing that. But I would say going on that spaceship was another big thing for me. And then probably, my first rescue mission, going into a facility where I was rescuing, actually it was a mantis being I was rescuing, that getting him out of a cell, getting him out, getting him safe, that probably would have been another big one too. But we did a lot of missions like that. And Antarctica was the one that scared me the most.
Okay, so what about Antarctica scared you?
I'm not real sure what about Antarctica. I think it's because their detection equipment was far superior than a lot of the other ones, that we were able to be invisible when we would approach the facility. But to bring somebody up in the spaceship, we had to be visible. So we were vulnerable for 30 seconds to a minute while we're getting these people up out of these facilities and going. And because of Antarctica having such special equipment, I was so worried about us being detected before we were even able to go visible and bring these aliens up.
Wow. I know we've kind of jumped around on a lot of different subjects, still with under the same umbrella,
Yes,
talked about the hybridization program, etc. But is there anything that we have not talked about tonight that you want to share with our audience?
Oh, we have been all over the place. I'm not real sure. There's so many things. I would say my book probably will be out before the end of the year. That will be going into more details. And this first book is just about my rescue missions. And that will give a lot more details about what's happening on there. But I would say, I think you hit on the biggest thing about the abductions are not really abductions, that they are actually helping the people. They're wanting to see how they're reacting to Earth, and also to help their health or whatever's going on with them. So that's only been good. And I would say that would be the biggest thing I would have to say. And again, I'm not real sure why I'm able to see these things, because I can see them, whereas most people either feel them or maybe hear them, but am very vivid on what I see. And I never have understood. Everybody's going, I want to see like you do. And I'm going, I think I'm the odd one, not you. I'm the one. Why can I see? Why can't I see these things? Why do I remember these experiences? I mean, I know I'm the communicator, but I'm not still real sure why I am the one that can see these things and remember what's happening to me.
Wow.
Because I think a lot of us are doing these things at night while we sleep. And, even I would say yesterday, occasionally, I'll have the missing time like a lot of us do. And yesterday was one of those times where I had an hour and a half of missing time. I had a show to do that afternoon, and I was a little out of it. I'm going, oh my gosh. And I was answering people's questions and channeling information. And I wasn't real sure how that was going to go, because I was still kind of reeling from going wherever I went. I don't remember where I went at that time. But I do probably at least once a month, I have some missing time that I don't remember. And it's probably a good thing that I don't remember, because some of the things I've done have been pretty horrendous. And I have not told all the things I do, nor will I ever write everything that I do in the books.
Okay. All right. I have one other question that I just have to ask.
Okay.
When you go up in the craft, are the planets round or are they flat?
They're round, but not exactly round. Even Earth to me doesn't look totally round. It looks almost, well, where the equator is. Sometimes it'll be a little in on that part. I mean, sometimes it's round, but sometimes it kind of fluctuates. So that is a different. And the planets also are most of them are round. I've never seen any flat ones. I'll eliminate that, but I've seen them mostly round.
Just asking. Just had to ask. Because I was talking with someone today, and they were really talking about the flat Earth theory, and so I'm like, okay, I know who I'm going to ask tonight.
So the flat Earth theory, I just don't understand that one either, because we would just walk off and fall off, and also gravity wouldn't work on a flat surface. I don't quite understand. And I've got the scientific background, so I'm going to be one that's looking at gravity and things like that, going, how can they think it's flat? Gravity just wouldn't work like that. Anyway.
Just asking. Just asking. Okay. All right. So I want to thank you so much for being here. And if people would like to get a hold of you, how could they do that?
Well, I have a YouTube channel, which is Dr. Gail Skywalking with Moon, and is geared towards people who are having experiences to be able to come in and talk about them. And I can help either validate what's happening to them or try to explain what's going on. And also I have my email address is drgailstarseed@gmail.com.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, we did have a question that just popped up. Someone else is just dying to ask you something. It says, do you think that a lot of the adopted children are hybrids?
Yes. Because one of the things I did not talk about was when I took this baby to the California couple, we took adoption papers with us. So they would have adoption papers, and they were very legal. So, yes. And also, we were allowed, whenever they took a hybrid baby, I would do a medical procedure that would allow them to have their own child after that. So they were granted to be able to have their own child after that too. So there's a lot more to those programs than that.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, thank you so much for coming and, sharing your experiences. I'm looking forward to reading your book, so I can't wait till it's out.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Sheila. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thank you so much. And thanks to everyone who was watching, sending everyone much love. Have a beautiful week and namaste. We'll see you later, everybody. Bye bye.